What is up, people? What is up, people? This is Abraham Walker with Ask A Walker, your Northern Virginia real estate agent. And we're back at you with another video, another live stream show. Let's get our background music going. So today we are coming at you with another question from our 100 questions every first-time home buyer should ask. Today we're covering question number 29. How much will it cost to own and maintain a home? How much does it cost to own and maintain a home? This is going to be an interesting conversation, especially for individuals who are thinking about buying a home, thinking about investing in real estate. Sometimes these maintenance costs can be quite surprising. So we're going to get into some numbers, and hopefully some of our viewers will also share some of their experiences about maintaining a home. We have a couple of viewers who love chiming in and also helping other people. So we'll get some feedback from those individuals as well. So on our show, we have one segment where I go through some prepared content from this particular book here. And then after that, I will answer any and all of your questions about real estate. So let me know where you're watching the show from. Let me know your location in the chat, and then post your questions down below as well. And I'll get to those questions at the end of the presentation. And oh, by the way, If you are ready to start your real estate journey, whether that's buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, there is a link in the description to the Perfect Home questionnaire. Fill out that form, and we will schedule a time to meet online via Zoom to answer any and all of your questions about real estate. All right, so let's get into the show. Let's get into the content. Hope you all are having a great day today. Hope it's going well for you. Excellent, excellent. All right, we're ready. We're ready to talk about this. All right, so how much will it cost to own and maintain a home? If you're thinking about buying a home, a lot of the cost associated to purchasing a home has nothing to do with maintaining the property. So as far as costs to purchase a property, there is your down payment, there's earnest money deposit, there is your cost for home inspections, there's also cost associated with closing costs. Closing costs include prepaids, which when we're talking about prepaids, we're talking about paying your homeowner's insurance in advance. Sometimes you pay your HOA fees in advance, taxes, insurance, and title fees, right? So those are costs to acquire the property. But what about maintaining the property? What does it cost to run a property? What costs should you expect to pay? If you're moving from buying a home to if you're moving from renting a home to buying a property, then there are some costs that you probably have never really experienced yourself being a renter. One of the major costs is repairs and maintenance of the interior and the exterior of the home. Right now, if you're renting a property, you've only called someone to fix or repair something, right? There's some type of number that has a magic person that shows up and they take care of all those problems. Well, when you purchase a home yourself, you are that magic person. You're the person who will either try to fix things on your own or you will find somebody to repair the property. You should have some savings tied to your home, and you should treat your property almost like a child where there's just this savings account just for this little special human, this little property, this entity, this asset. How much should you save? Industry experts recommend that you save 1% of the home's value. So if you have a $500,000 townhome, then you should save $5,000 every year and you put that money to the side. You put that money to the side. The reason why you want to put that money to the side is because most of your major repairs don't cost $5,000. They cost more than $5,000. Yep, they cost more than $5,000. If you're going to replace an HVAC system, that's more than $5,000. If you're going to replace a roof, that's more than $5,000. If you have some type of damage that's tied to an accident, then you have your homeowner's insurance or your flood insurance, depending on where you're located. You're going to have a deductible tied to that expense, and you also may have some out of pocket expenses as well, tied to maybe getting a hotel for the night or what have you. There are just a lot of things that go into purchasing a property or really maintaining a property that it benefits you to have some type of savings set aside just for the property. So 1% of your home's value, just put that away in a savings account. If you don't use it, then congratulations. That'll be a nice little spending opportunity for you to maybe put a down payment on something else in the future. But it's very likely you're going to use it. We represent buyers and sellers. And one of the things a lot of our seller clients do that really confuses me is they will live in a property in poor condition for several years, right? They'll move into a property year one, and then they will sell the property in year 10. They will fix up the property in year 10 to put it on the market rather than just fix up the property as soon as they move in, live in the property in its renovated state, and get full advantage of it. I recommend that you fix your property and live in what you would desire, what you would call a remodeled property, in the event you buy something that is older. So that's repairs and maintenance. That's going to be your biggest expense. Next up, you have water and sewage, trash and garbage, utilities. That's all stuff that you've already been paying if you've been renting a property. So that's not going to be that surprising to you. Another fee you've never paid as a renter is homeowners assessment or HOA dues. HOA dues are usually paid by all landlords, and that's HOA dues or even condo fees. And if you remember a couple shows ago, we talked about how I think it's a little bit over 70% of all properties in Northern Virginia have some type of homeowners association fee or condo association dues. Okay, so this is another fee that's tied to purchasing a property. Similar to okay, so we haven't talked about this. Let's talk about insurance, and then we'll kind of lump the assessments to your insurance. There's another fee that you have not paid that's more expensive than what you're paying right now if you're a renter. So with renters, you usually have renters insurance. Well, now you're going to have homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance covers the entire structure, right? So it's going to cover the exterior and the interior. With renters insurance, you're usually just covering the interior of the property, and then the landlord has some type of coverage for the exterior of the property, right? Homeowners insurance is more expensive than renters insurance, and it could jump drastically for no reason whatsoever. And it's hard to really shop homeowners insurance because there's not that many carriers in a given state. So homeowners insurance is tied to a particular state. There's different carriers in each state. And we've had clients who have homeowners insurance jump by $5,000 in a given year. So you want to be prepared for this particular expense. And this is why it's important just to have more savings once you purchase your property than you'll probably anticipate you need, right? Okay, homeowners association fees and condo fees, similar to homeowners insurance, will likely continue to increase. Okay, so homeowners insurance is providing insurance for your property. Your property's value is increasing. So because your property value is increasing, you should always expect for your insurance tied to that property to increase over time as well. Homeowners association dues and condo dues, those are tied to the maintenance of the property or the maintenance of the common area. Common area maintenance is going to have inflation adjustments, right? If there is common area that includes some type of lawn care or snow removal, everybody that's on those staffs are going to get paid more money every year. So homeowners association fees should increase every year to cover all of those expenses. This is just something you want to keep in mind because I see sometimes people look at some of their mortgage payments as being a fixed cost. Next up is real estate taxes. You are not paying as a renter, you're not paying real estate taxes, but it is like a pass-through expense where you'll usually see your rent increases because taxes have increased, which is what a lot of renters in Northern Virginia were complaining about over these last 2 years because prices increased and also real estate taxes increased. So your landlord's expenses increased and they passed on that increase to you. Okay, with real estate taxes are tied to the value of your property. Because it's tied to the value of your property, you should expect your taxes to increase as your property value increase. In California, there is some type of law. I don't know what the name of it because I don't practice in California, but there is talks. I've seen some little chatter about bringing this law that's in California about how they lock in the property tax rate for, I think it's for elderly individuals, but you don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. That's not available in Virginia. So you should expect your real estate taxes to increase every year. You should expect your homeowners insurance to increase every year. You should expect your HOA and your condo dues to increase every year. Those are some expenses you're not really paying at this time if you're renting a property. Now, with real estate taxes are going to vary from county to county. And in Alexandria, well, we don't really need to go through the tax rates themselves, but just know that you're paying anywhere from 1.03% to 2% of your assessed value of your property, right? So just keep that in mind. It's a percentage of your home's value. Stafford does have the lowest percentage, and also they have the least amount of services. Now let's talk about maintenance one more time. Let's talk about maintenance in the sense that you have these major systems that are a part of your home that require constant maintenance and at least check-ins. The main system is going to be your HVAC system, which we recommend, and a lot of our clients have contracts with HVAC services that will service the HVAC system. And before the winter season starts, they'll service the heater, and before the summer season starts, they will service the AC component of your unit. This is a great system to have because, for starters, it will make sure that you change your filters at least twice a year. Those filters are going to increase the life of your HVAC system. If you have those two maintenance opportunities, then you'll at least have your filters changed twice a year. You'll also make sure that any small repairs are always done versus a large repair. HVAC systems can cost anywhere from, I would say, like $4,000 on the low end to as much as $13,000 on the high end, in the event that you're getting yourself a single family home, right? And single family homes can have larger units. Also, some single family homes come with 2 or 3 HVAC systems. All right. Another way you kind of manage your home when you're first purchasing a home is to purchase a home warranty. I am less a fan of a home warranty, and I understand why people get it. Home warranties are marketed to people as a way to offset the expenses of their property, and you kind of pay this lump fee at the beginning of the year. Usually it's like $400 to $700 depending on the size of your property. And the goal or the intentions is that you would call this company and they would either service or repair any of the items on the list. The way I look at a home warranty company is, or a home warranty, is that it's like a casino, right? A lot of people have great memories inside of casinos. A lot of people don't. So that's how home warranties are. You hear people who have horrible stories when it comes to home warranties, and then you hear people who had great stories. We know one client who had all of their appliances replaced by a home warranty and their HVAC system. Then we had another client who could not get the same home warranty company to properly service a dishwasher. So you see how home warranties, their performance varies person to person, and it's not insurance. So there are no guarantees that if you spent this $400 to $700 at the beginning of the year, that you'll get any return on investment on that purchase. Okay. All right. That is the that's maintenance for your main system. Let's talk about lawn care and ground maintenance. If you're renting a property, your landlord may be covering this, but if you purchase a property, that's all going to be on you. I will say there's something that renters don't know about, that's like this unspoken rule. They mention it in this book, where there is this unspoken rule that you, as a homeowner, will take care of the exterior maintenance of your property. So that means pressure washing the exterior, keeping your grass cut, and keeping your shrubbery or your mulch fresh and stuff like that. That is peer pressure based on your other neighbors. Because the reason why this pressure exists is the way your property looks or is maintained is a direct reflection on how much these properties will sell for in the future. Curb appeal, as we've discussed in previous videos, curb appeal is not just the property that people are looking at, what people are judging, right? That when people pass by a property, they're really judging the entire neighborhood. And if one neighbor has high grass, has these horrible shrubbery in the front, or they have cars that are sitting on cinder blocks, or all kind of other things that, don't get me wrong, if you own a property, then you should be able to do whatever you want with the property. And how your property looks also affects the value of the properties around it. So there is this peer pressure for you to perform when it comes to landscaping, and you should just know that going in, right? You should know that going in. If you're not the type of person, like I'm not the type of person, I don't want to take care of any kind of landscaping, and I also don't like to pay lawn care people to do lawn care. So I'm not the single family home type of guy. So we're living in a townhome. I like townhomes because it's not too much space, and I have like the smallest front yard, and my backyard is just a patio, so I don't have to really maintain that area. That fits for me. You probably want to have that same kind of conversation with yourself as well. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. Last thing that we're going to cover is when it comes to purchasing owning a property, there's this maintenance that's tied to seasons, right? So in cold weather, we don't have extreme cold weather, so it's not going to be as much of a big deal. But we do have cold enough weather where you may put down some snow melt or ice melt, I believe it's called, and that may damage your driveway. So now you have to worry about maybe replacing your driveway every 10 to 15 years. There's also just the exterior maintenance of the property. There's the casing around your windows that could also be in disrepair because of any kind of severe weather that comes around. And that's about it. So the only thing you want to keep in mind is that some people, to get around maintenance, they buy new construction properties. New construction properties aren't going to solve all your problems, because there's oftentimes, not often, I don't want to say often, there are times when builders don't install something properly. So that is when it'll come into play that your builder's warranty may need to be used. But if you're outside of that first year, your first year, that when you own a new construction property, that first year it's almost like a everything gets covered warranty. But after that first year, they only cover the main systems for like the next 10 years. So there still may be some items that are in disrepair, but I do know that there is this common thread around buying new construction properties and not having to do any repairs or maintenance. So that's something you want to keep in mind if you yourself purchase a resale property, right? That was recently built. So if it was built in the last 10 years, it's very likely that person has done little to no maintenance in that property. All right. I think that is it. That is everything. Okay, that's everything. So that was question number 29. How much will it cost to own and maintain a home? So this is 100 questions every first-time home buyer should ask. So every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we answer one question, and then we take your questions. So I have just answered my question. Now, what's your question? Let me know in the comment section. Post your location down below. Let me know where you're watching from, and also post your question, and I will be sure to answer it to the best of my ability. While we're waiting for some questions to come in, I just want to let you know there is a link in the description to the Perfect Home questionnaire. Fill out that form, and we will schedule a time to meet online via Zoom to answer any and all of your questions. We'll schedule that up. Whether you're buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, reach out to us. All right, so we're going to be answering questions. If you're thinking about buying a home, selling a home, post your questions down below. Maybe you're thinking about a different area to live in. You want to know some dirt on it, or you want to know whether that's a good area. Let us know down below. Maybe you have a property you're thinking about buying, or maybe you have a search criteria you want to get some advice on. Let us know. We'll answer those questions as they come up. All right, so we have our first question here, and this is from TikTok. This is Luke Gardner 65. Hello, Luke. Okay, so Chantilly, Virginia, where are the best places to learn more about FHA loans, first-time home buyer resources? Okay, where are the best places to learn about FHA loans and first-time home buyer resources? I would say there is a course available through the Virginia Housing Authority. That's a free 8-hour online course that I recommend to all of my first-time home buyers. It's 8 hours. You don't have to take it all at one time. So you can go at your own pace. And if you take that course, I believe that you're going to be in a much better position to understand the home buying process. And when it comes to FHA loans, I would recommend, since this is your first time buying a home, don't get fixated on a loan product. Work with a lender and let them know what your position is, right? What your financial position is, how much money you make, what are your expenses, your liabilities, and then they will let you know what products are available. So when you go and talk to a lender, it's best to let them know that you would like to see where your options are versus you telling them, I only want to buy with this type of property. Okay. I mean, with this type of product. So yeah, so check out the first time home buyers course through the Virginia Housing Authority. If you need a link to that resource, just let me know and we can send that over to you. All right, post your questions down below. Post your questions about buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate, best areas to live. What are you doing this weekend? Anybody do anything interesting this weekend? Anything noteworthy? All right, so Luke on TikTok says, that's a good point. We'll look into the course for sure. Thanks. My pleasure. My pleasure. And let me know. Just reach out if you need the link to the course. We can get that to you. You just sign up. There's no cost associated with the course. It's great content too. Great content. You'll be light years ahead of your competition by just taking that course. Okay. Let me know, what questions do you have? Are you thinking about buying a home this year? When you thinking about making a move? Thinking about selling the home this year? When are you thinking about where are you going next? I had the most interesting conversation today. A gentleman who has a $1 million home was interviewing us for the job of selling their home, and we expressed to the gentleman that the property is worth anywhere from 1.1 to 1.2 million dollars. When you have $1 million home, it's kind of hard to nail down a specific price on the property. So you usually work in ranges, right? So you'll rarely see an agent say, "Oh, you'll sell the house for this," because we're not buying the house, so we don't know what the houses are really going to sell for. The market analysis, so it's called a comparative market analysis, that information gives us a range. Um, that gives us a range of products. I mean, a range to help our clients choose a number. Well, we told them 1.1 to 1.2 just based on the data, and they decided not to use our services. They said that they would use somebody that told them that they could sell the house for 1.4 million. One of the things that real estate agents do when it comes to listing a property is they will quote unquote buy the listing by telling the client anything they want to hear and just moving forward and with the least amount of friction. On our end, we like to educate our clients, and also we don't want you to be frustrated with us. And there's nothing more frustrating than having your house on the market for a long period of time and dealing with showings when a lot of other sellers and a lot of other buyers, I mean, a lot of other properties in the area are selling, right? So that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we mitigate here. And so it makes sense. It makes sense that this client or this prospect went with the other agent when they said that they can get them $200,000. So you may be wondering, Abraham, if I'm selling my home and an agent told me that they can get way over what the market reports or what the data states, why wouldn't I use that person? Well, that person is most likely they're going to use a tactic that's taught by a lot of sales companies, which is where you take the listing and then every week you work the homeowner to reduce the price of the property, right? Reduce the price of the property. And some people don't like this strategy. As far as homeowners don't like to feel like they're constantly in negotiation battles with their agents. We prefer the option of presenting the information in a fair manner and just having the client know, okay, great. Based on your timeline, this is the range you're probably going for. But it's very challenging to help a seller, help a homeowner sell a property if they don't have somewhere to go. Usually, most real estate transactions are tied to some type of deadline. A buyer is moving to the area, and then they're buying because they don't want to live in a hotel, or they don't want to rent a property. A renter, their lease is usually up. We get so many calls about helping renters who are at the end of their lease, and their lease is pushing them to make a real estate transaction. Sellers are moving for a number of reasons, but the most popular reasons are retiring. So when a seller retires, their income drops, and because their income drops, if they still have a mortgage, then they want to reduce their overall cost of living. Divorce, when a seller goes through a divorce, there's usually some situation where one person may have been making more money than the other person, and they can't support that house note. Then we have when kids move out of properties. So when kids go off to college, we see a lot of properties come on the market because a lot of sellers or homeowners purchased a property to house their children. Now they don't have to house their children. Most of the time, it's not when the children go off to college. It's usually when they graduate from college, because a lot of parents don't know if their kids are going to come back to them. They don't know if they're going to successfully complete college. So you usually see a lot of upper middle age homeowners who are kind of waiting to see if their kids are going to launch successfully, right? And then the next people that we see selling properties are individuals who their families are growing, and they have been sold on the idea that they need more space to live in, right? So the move up buyer, the move up seller, this is a great marketing tactic that works in a lot of people, where they're like, man, I need more space. I need a bigger backyard, or my kids are just growing all over the place. That's not really true, because we see people in New York City is a great example, even in Chicago, parts of Chicago, where they raise a whole large family in like a condo or something like that. So it is a successful marketing campaign to sell more houses, and that is the main reason why we see sellers on the market. All right, all right. So Kevin Reacher says he's a lender. He says that Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae has classes also on their websites. Okay, thank you for that, Kevin. Kevin, which classes would you recommend to most home buyers? I didn't know that Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae had classes. Which classes would you recommend? I've been sending everybody to the Virginia Housing Authority classes. It's an 8-hour course, and also if you complete that course, you get certification, a certificate, and that certificate allows you to purchase or use their program. So it's like a 2-for-1 deal, in my opinion. But I would love to get your feedback. All right, all right. Post your questions down below. What questions do you have, whether you're buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate? Post those questions. Also, if you have a question about a location, any location specific questions, post those down below as well. What are y'all getting into this weekend? Anybody doing anything interesting this weekend? We're going to the George Mason University game I believe we're going Saturday. It's either Saturday or Sunday. So that should be interesting. That'll be our first game, our first George Mason game that we've ever attended. So that'll be cool. Tickets are only for some of their games. Tickets are only $10 per ticket. $10, that's not bad. I mean, but I guess I don't know how good the team is. I don't follow college basketball. Is George Mason doing well this year? I don't know. George Mason basketball. Okay. Oh, wow. They got beat yesterday 52-75. My goodness. let's see, basketball. What is that? What do you call when the wins or losses? Wins or losses? They're not their ranking, right? It's not their ranking. But let's see what their ranking is. All right. Okay, so George Mason has a 5-7 record. No, 13-12 record overall. Interesting. So George Mason's, that's not a bad record, right? 13-12. I guess it's not as good as VCU. Seems like they're the top person. Oh, VCU. What school is VCU? VCU Rams. I don't know what is a VCU. All right, Kevin has responded. Okay, there is a standard class required for Home Possible and Home Ready. There's also required courses for some credits toward closing costs for some first-time home buyer classes. Okay. So I guess there's no recommendation on a particular class. So that's good to know, though. We'll definitely keep that in mind. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Virginia Housing all have first-time home buyer classes. Post your questions down below. Post your questions. Any questions you may have. What is a VCU? VCU. Oh, Virginia Commonwealth University. Wow, they have a good basketball team. VCU Rams. All right. Post your real estate questions. Anything you want to know? Buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate. All right, post your questions. Any question you may have. As long as you have questions, I'll stay on. But if not, I'm going to jump off and go watch Abbott Elementary with the missus. We haven't watched that show in a while. We have a couple episodes to catch up on. Have you all watched that series, Abbott Elementary? It's hilarious. It's a hilarious show. So tonight is our last live stream of the week. We are preparing for a new live stream schedule. So starting on Monday, we will be going live at 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to be adding a morning show, and that's going to be Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to get in touch with some of our AM people who are watching us in the morning show. So we're moving from 7 shows to 8 shows a week. So that should be interesting. And I believe I'm getting a new book tomorrow. It's called 100 Questions for Home Sellers. So we'll do one question for buyers and then one question for sellers. If you've just joined the show, you could watch this live stream on our YouTube channel, Where to Live in Northern Virginia. Also, next week with our new show schedule, Crystal, my wife, she will be joining me as a co-host. So now I have somebody to talk to rather than just talking to myself in this room, this lonely room. Do. Post your questions down below. Any questions you may have, I'll answer as long as you have them. I'll stay on as long as you have them. Also, let me know where you're watching from. What's your location? Okay, while y'all get those questions ready, it looks like there's a Reston Zoo. I didn't even know this. Reston Zoo reopens with new name and light show. Oh, Reston Zoo and Zuri's Safari will reopen under new management this month as Nova Wild. Interesting. Okay, so they have a new owner. Oh, wow. The previous ownership, the zoo came under scrutiny for mismanagement of the animals. Ew. That's not good. The former director of what was then Reston Zoo pleaded guilty to animal cruelty. Wow. Oh, wow. In connection to the drowning of an injured wallaby. Oh, my goodness. This is tragedy. Tragic. Look at this. The zoo changed hands and was rebranded as Rory's Safari. In 2021, 2 giraffes were killed in a barn fire. Wow. That zoo has not had the best history. Okay, but if you want to go to the rebranded version, they're opening the light show will open what day? The light show will be open from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. Thursdays through Sundays from February 17th to April 9th, plus every day from April 3rd to 7th for spring break. Tickets for the light show cost $24 for general admission for children 3 to 12, and general admission for everyone else is $35. Parking will cost $10. Wow, so that means that for our family, how much is that for our family? That's not going to be, so 35 times 3 plus 24 plus $10, $139. Holy smokes. we're not going to that. We're not going to that. I mean, just to see some lights in a zoo. Now when they have the National Zoo in DC, we could just go to DC. DC Zoo is free. Parking is much cheaper too. I think parking is like $15, $20. Not me. Not on my watch. But I do recommend if you want to go and support the Reston Zoo, it's opening February 17th. All right. So let me know your questions. Any questions that you may have. Let's put on this is our last call for questions. Post your questions down below. At the end of this song, if we don't have any questions, then we will call it a night. If you're buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, post your question down below. Maybe you want to know about a certain location. Maybe you want to know about things to do, a certain restaurant. Post that information down below, and I will answer your questions. So this is the last call for questions. If we get to the end of this song with no questions, then I will say good night, and I will see you all on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the morning show we're starting next week. So we'll be going live twice a day, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you know anyone buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate and they have questions, let them know about our show. We are working on making ourselves much more accessible so that if you have anything you want to discuss, we can knock it out in real time. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us on tonight's show. This is the last show of this week. We will be back on this coming Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our first morning show. I look forward to seeing you then. If you're ready to start your real estate journey, there is a link in the description to the Perfect Home Questionnaire. Fill out that form and we will schedule a time to meet online via Zoom to answer any and all of your questions. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I hope you all have a great weekend. Until next time, peace. And I'll see you next week.